The courtroom cameras captured the exact moment a woman who had spent 15 years hiding behind victimhood made the biggest mistake of her life. Debra Jenkins, a 52-year-old woman who claimed severe disabilities prevented her from working or even walking properly, looked directly at Judge Judy and called her rude in front of a packed courtroom. What happened next didn't just destroy her lawsuit. It exposed a years-long fraud that would spread across the internet like wildfire, generating millions of views and turning Debra into one of the most infamous courtroom scammers ever caught on television. But the truly shocking part was this. Judge Judy already had security footage proving Debra had been lying long before the hearing even started. And when that footage finally appeared in court, Debra's entire world collapsed in real time. Before we get into this unbelievable takedown, hit subscribe because this may be one of the most satisfying courtroom moments you'll ever witness. And trust me, by the end of this story, you'll understand exactly why viewers across the country called it pure justice. Debra Jenkins entered Judge Judy's courtroom with absolute confidence. At 320 pounds, she had spent years mastering the art of turning criticism into accusations of discrimination. She carried herself like someone who believed she was untouchable. Oversized clothing hung loosely around her frame, and a handicap parking permit swung visibly from her purse like a badge proving her victim status. For over a decade, Debra had collected disability checks while claiming severe chronic pain, fibromyalgia, knee problems, and mobility issues that supposedly made everyday life unbearable. According to her, walking even short distances caused extreme suffering. She insisted she couldn't maintain employment because of her conditions. But there was one thing Debra had become even better at than collecting disability payments: lawsuits. Over 15 years, she had filed case after case against business and ordinary people. Restaurants, stores, parking disputes, accessibility complaints. Whenever someone challenged her, she immediately accused them of discrimination. Many people simply settled to avoid expensive legal battles and public accusations. Debra had learned something powerful. Playing the victim was profitable, and now her newest target was Gerald Thompson, a 68-year-old gym owner who had spent 30 years building his small community fitness center from the ground up. Gerald wasn't rich. His business had barely survived the COVID lockdowns, and he was still struggling financially when Debra joined his gym, claiming she needed light exercise for medical reasons. At first, Gerald tried to help her. He offered accommodations, explained equipment carefully, and made sure she signed the same liability waivers required of every member. For months, there were no problems. Then, suddenly, Debra accused the gym of causing severe injuries because the equipment supposedly wasn't suitable for someone with her disabilities. She claimed the machines were unsafe, the staff ignored her pain, and the gym failed to accommodate her properly. Her lawsuit demanded $20,000. When Gerald refused to quietly pay her off, the case landed in Judge Judy's courtroom. But Gerald came prepared. Along with signed waivers and medical paperwork, he brought something far more important: security footage that showed a completely different version of Debra Jenkins than the helpless victim sitting in court. Judge Judy began the hearing with her usual directness. Miss Jenkins, you're suing Mr. Thompson for $20,000. Tell me exactly what happened." Debra immediately launched into a dramatic performance. Her voice trembled with rehearsed emotion as she described years of chronic pain and physical suffering. She claimed every step was painful, every movement difficult. According to Debra, Gerald's gym equipment wasn't designed for people with disabilities like hers. Then she began lecturing the courtroom. She accused the gym of lacking compassion, claimed society constantly mistreated disabled people, suggested Gerald simply didn't care about someone with her condition. Judge Judy listened quietly, but her expression slowly hardened. Then came the question that changed everything. "Ms. Jenkins, you claim walking short distances causes severe pain. So how were you attending this gym several times a week for months?" Debra answered instantly. "People with disabilities push through pain every day," she snapped. "Frankly, it's insensitive for you to question how I survive my conditions." The audience shifted uncomfortably, but Debra kept talking. She criticized the gym equipment, complained about accessibility, and even implied Judge Judy didn't understand weight-related mobility problems. The more she spoke, the more arrogant she became. Meanwhile, Gerald sat silently, watching her repeat lies he already knew he could disprove. Then Judge Judy asked another question. How many lawsuits have you filed over the last 15 years? For the first time, Deborah hesitated. Judge Judy already had the answer. 14 lawsuits, 7 settlements. Years of accusing businesses and individuals of discrimination whenever conflicts arose. Deborah immediately became defensive, insisting every case had been legitimate. But Judge Judy wasn't finished. And you've collected disability benefits during that same period because you claim you're unable to work? Deborah's voice grew louder. Yes, because my conditions are real. Honestly, this entire line of questioning feels discriminatory. Then came the fatal mistake. Judge Judy leaned forward and calmly asked how someone claiming severe physical limitations managed to attend a gym regularly for months. Deborah finally exploded. Your Honor, you're being incredibly rude right now, she shouted. You're clearly biased against me because of my size. This is harassment. The entire courtroom went silent. Judge Judy slowly stared at her with an expression so cold the tension became almost unbearable. Then she responded. Rude, she said quietly. What's rude is coming into my courtroom with a story built on lies. What's rude is trying to destroy a man's business with fraud. Then Judge Judy delivered the sentence that instantly drained all confidence from Deborah's face. Let's take a look at the security footage from Mr. Thompson's gym. The courtroom lights dimmed as the monitor turned on, and, suddenly, the helpless victim sitting in court completely disappeared. The footage showed Deborah walking through the gym with absolutely no difficulty. No limping, no signs of pain. She moved between machines normally, carried weights without assistance, bent down easily, and walked far longer distances than she claimed were physically possible. Then came the moment that completely destroyed her case. The video showed Deborah leaving the gym one afternoon carrying multiple heavy bags while walking quickly across the parking lot without any visible discomfort at all. The courtroom audience gasped. Judge Judy didn't even look surprised. She simply stared at Deborah and said, "So this is the woman who claims she can barely walk 10 feet?" Deborah's face turned pale. Her mouth opened slightly, but no explanation came out. For the first time in years, her victim act had completely failed. Judge Judy wasted no time delivering her ruling. The lawsuit was dismissed immediately. But she didn't stop there. Judge Judy warned Deborah that filing fraudulent claims and misrepresenting disabilities could lead to far more serious legal consequences beyond civil court. Then she ordered Deborah to pay Gerald Thompson for part of the legal costs he spent defending himself against the lawsuit. Gerald looked emotionally overwhelmed. Months of stress, fear, and financial pressure had finally ended. As Deborah silently gathered her papers and avoided eye contact with everyone in the room, Judge Judy delivered one final statement that would later spread all over social media. Real disabilities deserve compassion. Fraud deserves consequences. And just like that, the woman who spent 15 years hiding behind victimhood walked out of the courtroom completely exposed.